What is up, guys? So, we now have our new Cyberdragon support in Alliance Insight, so it's time to go over it again. The deck has actually changed quite a lot for just two cards, especially two cards that are actually, in the grand scheme of things, quite mediocre. Jormungardr is pretty terrible, all things considered. Cyberdark Wurm is better, but I don't know why it's a once per duel. But anyway, so let's get into it, because there's a lot to talk about. So, it's 40 card main, it's just double sleeved. So, we're still playing three copies of Cyberdragon Core. This is actually really important starter. Was always a starter before, but you couldn't just one card combo stuff unless you were doing something with, Fiendsmith or something of the like. But now this is very important because it grabs your Cyberdark realm, which gets you to Chimera, which then gets you to Wurm, which gets you to the rest of the combo. So, very important. Only two copies of Cyberdark, of Cyberdragon Hertz. We don't play Galaxy Soldier anymore, so this card is not as important, but it's still somewhat important to the combo because it's a very good send off of Cyberdark Wurm. So yeah, one copy of Naxta. It's mostly here now to facilitate our plays regarding Jormungardr in the late part stage of the combo, and also for recovery on the follow-up turns. Obviously, can't be a Cyberdragon deck without at least one copy of Cyberdragon. Because we're not playing machine duplication anymore, we only really need one of this. So, sorry Cyberdragon, you've been relegated to brick. Then, Cyber Jormungardr. This card is pretty terrible, all things considered. If it could special summon itself from the hand when the field is completely empty, wouldn't be so bad. But your opponent has to control a monster for that, so it's very good for putting pressure on the opponent going second. Unfortunately, this is a going first build. The other annoyance is that it has to return it. It can return a Cyberdragon from field to hand to add polymerization. Why they chose polymerization, I have no idea. There are so many other fusion spells that it could have, searched that are more relevant. But hey ho. We're running three copies of Cyber Emergency because this is a starter. It gets the core, which gets the realm. Cyber Repair Plant. This gets us to our extenders better. It's optional. You can run something like Cybernetic Horizon as well. I'm choosing to run this because of another choice that I'm running in the deck that I'll discuss later. One copy of Cybernetic Overflow, because this really does complement the end board quite a lot if you already have the cards in hand to do the standard combo, which I'll go through later. So this is really good for that. So then onto the Cyberdark side, we're running three copies of Cyberdark Claw, because once again, this is a starter. This gets us to Realm, so, one copy of Cyberdark Chimera. I've toyed with the idea of running two. I'm currently running one just to kind of high roll. It's not the end of the world if you draw it. In the same way, it's not the end of the world if you draw Power Bond, but it does make things harder. But this card is actually pretty good now that we have a decent target to send with it, and not just one of the vanilla Cyberdarks. And it searches Power Bond. Cyberdark Wurm, our brand new card. This is pretty good. It searches. It's treated as Cyberdragon in the field or grave, and also when if it's in your hand or graveyard while you have another Cyber monster in your hand or in your field or graveyard, you can send a Cyberdragon from deck to grave as cost, special summon it, and then you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap from grave to hand. So this is a bunch of kind of set up in a way, so that facilitates a combo that Konami have basically manufactured out of the Tactical Tridecks. So you get Clockwork Knight from your deck to hand with the Clockwork Knight Link monster, which sends Cyberdark Realm. So this will get back Realm. Cyberdark Realm facilitates the additional normal summon of Cyberdark Chimera, which gets you to this when you send it to the graveyard by linking it off or sending it with Clockwork Knight Link monster's effect. So yeah, it's level 5. You can res it with Naxta, so pretty good. Once per duel though, for its resummon effect, which is trash considering there are other Mathmech Circular type cards in this set in Alliance Insight that don't have a once per duel restriction. Really stupid, asinine. Don't know why they decided to do that. 3 copies of Cyberdark Realm. Starter. 1 copy of Power Bond, because this is searched by Cyberdark Chimera. 1 copy of Polymerization, because now this is, because Konami decided we run this now. 1 copy of Clockwork Knight, because again we searched this. 1 copy of Regulus, because we searched this off Clockwork Knight when we discarded for Power Bond. 1 copy of Disablaster. So this is why I'm running Repair Plant, because basically Core gets us to this. Core gets us to Repair Plant gets us to this. This is just a 3 level 5 body, basically. So you can either use it as link fodder, you can make Clockwork Knight with it, or more preferably, you can make a rank 5 with it. So very useful for that. Hand traps. Not much to say about this. Hand traps, anti-hand trap. This is actually pretty decent because with this, when we summon it, we can search for Cyberdark Claw in the end phase if we're going second. So this does facilitate a bit of engine while also being decent disruption against those light and dark decks. Onto the extra deck, we're running 2 copies of Infinity, the standard, 2 copies of Nova, 1 copy of Zeus. I'm running Aggregator as an Ultimate Slayer target, which is part of the side deck. Nothing has changed on this front. Like, Nova is still a really good rank 5. It gets us back Naxta, which gets us back our Jormungardr, which gets us to our stupid Herosphere plays. Infinity, still a really good card. It's part of our end board, and it's an Omni. Zeus, really good, just if in a state where like clearing the board is just better inherently than having a negate, is really good, and it really simplifies the game state if it goes off. So yep, Xyz monsters. And yeah, Aggregator, Ultimate Slayer target. You can play additional rank 5s, but I don't think it's actually that necessary. Having tested this deck a bunch, I just haven't gone into them that much. 1 copy of Mega Fleet, 1 copy of Fortress, 2 copies of Rampage. So these you can run Cyber Twin as well, but these are the only cyber like oriented fusion monsters I'm actually running here. Rampage is just insanely good for OTK. It's a level 5. It digs through the deck, so we get Naxta and Jormungardr out of the deck with it for our Herosphere plays. These two are like Fortress and Mega Fleet, self-explanatory. Then running Herosphere, I hate this card. It's a stupid spell negate that is basically being funneled into the deck by Konami and their tactical try support stuff. But it can be part of our end board. It recycles Power Bond or Polymerization. So yeah. Then Link Monsters, Sega is way less relevant now, but can still come up if you need an extra name or if you just need that kind of boost push kind of thing. SP, we can make this as part of our end board now. Armilla, this is a really weird one because it's like a really crappy summon sork, but pre-errata summon sork, should I say. It summons from hand basically to a zone it points to. It uses a monster it points to, and you summon a monster from hand with the same level. And so basically, there's a line that there's a 1-card line if you just open Realm or Claw and Realm. If you either open Realm or Claw, this card basically facilitates a 1-card combo. It's just unfortunate that this card cannot be linked off. So, and you can't Mega Fleet this off after you've because it appears after you've resolved Chimera, which after searching Power Bond restricts you to only using cyber monsters as material. But it is very useful for that front, and you can just take it with Infinity, I guess. 1 Clockwork Knight, so this is our new Link one. Almirage is served as well, but this gets us to more of our combo. So yeah. So now I guess would be a good time to go over the basic line. So realistically, all you need is Realm to go over this line, but there are a number of permutations of this combo. If you open core, then you get to do SP as well. If you don't open core, then you won't be making SP, you'll be using Armor Liar instead. There are another, like, also depends on like what the state of your hand is, but so basically you go Realm, you grab yourself Chimera, you additional normal summon Chimera, you link it away for your Clockwork Knight. So Clockwork Knight, so Chimera Chainlink 1, Knight will Chainlink 2, send this to cost, which will grab you your copy of Clockwork Knight, and then Wurm will be sent to the graveyard. So we've got one copy, so we've basically gone neutral here, except we've got one card in hand and we've got Clockwork Knight on the field. So now, Wurm will summon itself by sending Cyberdragon Hertz from deck to grave. And it will also add our Cyberdark Realm back to hand. So now Hertz will trigger, adding Cyberdragon from deck to hand. So we now have 3 cards in hand, and 2 bodies on field. So now Knight will target our Chimera in graveyard, tributing Wurm and summoning itself, summoning out Chimera, which is now where Chimera will activate its effect, ditching this Clockwork Knight to search for Power Bond. So then Clockwork Knight we can activate here. We banish it from our graveyard, discard a card from our hand, so we'll discard the Cyberdark Realm, it serves no purpose anymore, to add Regulus to hand. Next we'll link these off into Armor Liar. And now it's a pretty interesting stage in the combo, which is, so from here on out we're susceptible to Nibiru, which is why we have to drop Regulus here. So we'll drop it to not a zone that Armor Liar points to. So we'll just equip Chimera. There's nothing else to send off of Chimera, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Ideally, you want to equip Hertz or Cyberdragon Hertz or something, so with some graveyard setup, but it's not always possible, especially not if you're just using Realm, if the combo just started with Realm. So now we're going to activate Power Bond. So because Cyberdark Wurm is a Cyberdragon in field or grave, we can use it. So we're going to banish these 2 from the graveyard for our Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. So now we can use the effect of Armor Liar to summon Cyberdragon from our hand, so we have 2 rank 5s. But first we need to use Rampage because we want to put some cards in our graveyard. So we will be putting in Jormungardr and Naxxter. So now we'll overlay these 2 to make Cyberdragon Nova. And we'll detach to revive Naxxter. And Naxxter effect will target our Jormungardr to revive that. So now we're locked into machines. And we can overlay for our Infinity. And we'll use Jormungardr's effect, returning Naxxter to hand. Search for our polymerization. Then we'll use polymerization fusing Naxxter and Jormungardr together for our Hirsvarog. So this is a Omni negate, but not destroy. This is an Omni negate, and this is a spell negate. So it will also add either our Power Bond or our polymerization back to our hand during the next standby phase. So you can add Power Bond back. So that is all off of 1 card. If you open Core, then you can make SP instead because you don't have to make Armor Liar. Because it gives you another body basically that will be tributed off of Clockwork Knight. So you don't need, so your Cyberdark Wurm will actually be used for a rank 5 instead of being used as tribute fodder to get back Chimera. So guys, that's about it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys like the new Cyberdragon support that we have. Yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite thing about Alliance Insight is. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. There's new Ignista stuff, there's new, obviously, Cyber Dragon stuff, there's the Live Twin and Eldritch stuff that goes with the Tactical Tridax, Dragon Rulers, you name it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.